Welcome to the Warning Track Power Hour. I am Dr. Andrew Scaff. He is Dr. Michael Werman, Esquire. On today's show, we'll eventually get to our first part of our Super Bowl preview. We'll also talk about the NFL coach hirings from the last week. Maybe a brief path through talking about the offseason Kansas City Royals news and their new stadium potential site. But we'll start today with the NFL playoffs. We have the AFC and NFC conference championship games, both playing very tight games. One defensive struggle, one kind of shootout, higher scoring game. Do you want to start with the AFC, Mike? That was the low scoring defensive struggle game. Were you satisfied with the outcome of that game? We did get to see Denver lose in a close game, which is never a bad thing for Kansas City fans. But yeah, was that good enough, or did you want to see them like pounded into the ground in this game?
Well, the question is, you also saw the Patriots win, so I don't know if
Right.
that's neither team is. I think I wanted to see do well. I kind of actually wanted Denver to win because I think Denver for sure would lose the Super Bowl, and so especially without Bo Nix, it was just Jared Stidham there. Uh,
Yeah.
I still think New England. Well, it's a or preview. I still think New England's going to lose the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be the Seahawks who are gonna take it. But I don't think either of those two teams are that good. I think they kind of got fortunate where they kind of wound up, and um, I think if I were the Buffalo Bills, I'd be really kicking myself how you lost that game, especially because you would have easily. I think they would have beaten New England in the although that game would have been played in Foxborough in a even bigger snowstorm than what
Yeah.
happened in Denver the second half. But I guess it would have been a more uniform snowstorm. But neither team. Yeah, that was a weird game because the first half was played in kind of ideal conditions, and then the second half was windy and snowy mess, and basically no points were scored once the snow came. So
Yeah.
New England kind of won by default, just because they were ahead 10-7 going into that third quarter. But
It was crazy watching that game on TV though, because it got so bad so quickly in that second half that it was like, yeah, completely different uh conditions for the game.
yeah, I didn't think it was going to snow because I thought Denver was out of that. Well, they were out of the big snow that hit most of the country
Yeah.
this past week, but I guess against Denver, it's just going to snow there anyway in January fairly often.
Right.
But um, yeah, it was a weird game to watch for sure, and one that basically turned into basically a nothing kind of game at the end. It was fun to watch the snow, but like there was no football really being played. Nothing could be like no passes were completed, no field goals were kicked very well. Everything was it was all just futility. So it was one of those games. I don't, and it was partly, I guess, it's the weather, but also I think neither of those teams are particularly great.
Yeah.
And it just the AFC, the best teams in the AFC didn't make the playoffs this year. I think is really what happened. Um,
Yeah.
and I think Denver and New England kind of got lucky in some ways, but Denver got unlucky in that Bo Nix got hurt. I think they would have
Right.
probably waltzed into the Super Bowl with Knicks, but I still think they're not as good as either of the NFC contenders were this year.
Yeah.
But I am kind of happy to see the Broncos lose, but I also didn't want to see the Patriots win either because I don't think they're deserving of going to the Super Bowl again. Although it's funny that it's now either the Patriots uh, or the Chiefs, or I guess one year the Bengals are the Super Bowl representatives for the AFC in the last 12 years or something like that, right?
Yeah,
Or
something like that.
11 years.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
And it was Denver before that, so it wasn't that much different.
Yeah.
Was the previous representative. So there haven't been a lot of um, unique teams coming out of the AFC. The NFC's been more of a revolving door. of
Yeah,
contenders, but
yeah. Well, we've
Seattle's
gotten
making it back again though after about 10.
Seattle.
It's a Super Bowl rematch of Seattle versus New England. That famous uh, end play game where Russell Wilson was intercepted at the goal line by the Patriots to lose the to win the Super Bowl for New England to lose the Super Bowl for Seattle. A very close game where probably they should have just given the ball to Marshawn Lynch to run it in for a yard, but they decided to pass. Um, but that's a rematch
Exactly.
of that game. But
So as a preview, do you think we'll see that play scenario come up again where it'll be at some point, yeah, down to the wire, and Seattle will have an opportunity to run or pass? And do you think they'll make a different choice?
Kenneth Walker will get it rather than Sam Darnold throwing it. I
Yeah,
think Darnold's having, I don't know. I would try. Darnold has thrown a lot of interceptions this year, but he's also thrown a lot of touchdown passes.
yeah,
So I don't know. I think he's more integrated into the offense than Wilson was more of a game manager,
right.
um, at least at that point in his career. Uh, Darnold has been given more of the reins of the offense, and I think they're more of a throwing team than they were. Um, at that point. So yeah, it'll be interesting. It's a completely different rosters, completely different teams,
Oh yeah.
so than they were 10, 11 years ago. But um,
But
yeah,
both
Seattle,
teams, right? They're completely
yeah,
revamped. There's
yeah.
like no
Um,
vestiges of the old rosters.
do you so I don't know, are you like I am? Do you think the NFC winner was is the de facto Super Bowl winner going in? At least as you see it, do you see I don't know, the game was a lot better played, it seemed like, but that was partly because the weather wasn't so crazy.
Right.
It was higher scoring, but it was it was low scoring, then it was explosive for a while, and then it got low scoring at the end. I think
And
I
there
think
were no
I think
points in the fourth quarter
fourth
too,
quarter.
which was
Yeah,
surprising.
I think there weren't very many points scored in the first half either. It was the third quarter that was the
Mm.
um, big scoring quarter where
Yeah,
touchdown after touchdown.
28 points in the third. Yeah, each team had two touchdowns.
They had 28 points in the third, and they're only um,
But it stayed neutral though from the halftime score to then after the end of the third.
yeah, it's 31-27. So only 30 points were scored in the other three quarters combined compared to the one uh, third quarter. So it
Yeah,
wasn't so at that pace, the over under would have been 40 as a game rather than a 112 over under, which would be the 28
yeah.
uh, point breakout, which was even higher scoring. The only game that's nearly that approached that in terms of scoring was the Rams Chiefs game of 2018, which was 54-51, 105 points
Right.
were scored in that game. So
It's
third
hard to
quarter was
maintain that kind of pace for an entire
yeah.
game, right?
Yeah, third quarter was high scoring. Um, but yeah, the rest of the game was so it was a ended up being a high-ish scoring game, but not an overly kind of crazily high scoring game. And of course,
Right.
the defensive stops were what kind of won the game for um, Seattle. And although you could say, well, maybe the Rams should have kicked a field goal rather than go for it, and then they only would have been down by 1 point, and maybe they could have gotten a field goal or something like that. Or there are a
Yeah.
couple of instances in both games where teams went for it on fourth down rather than kicking field goals, and the Broncos probably will regret their choice for not kicking a field goal early in the game when they could have gone up 10-0 rather than squander um, uh, that field position, and then I think there are a couple chances that the Rams could have kicked field goals when they went for it. Um, so I don't know, but I guess I get why they went. I get why they go for it, but
Yeah. Yeah, you think there's a difference like regular season to postseason? Like maybe the go for it on fourth down, maybe you should be a little more conservative in the playoffs because the defenses seem to be like more important in the playoffs traditionally, but offense is the side that you sort of focus on all the time. seemingly. At least on these stuff like, people like us talking
Yeah,
about games
I th
afterwards.
yeah, it's one of those things where I think you should go for it more on fourth down, but more when the alternative is punting. So you get 0 points if you don't get it. But when
Right.
you have an alternative of 3 points versus 7 points, that's not as bad. You're kind of splitting the difference by kicking a field goal rather than just not getting any points. So I can see why maybe you should go for field goals a little bit more because it seems like that's what the Chiefs have done previously. They kick field goals when they can get points, and sometimes just getting
Yeah.
points or can help. I don't, but I
Right.
think a touchdown, of course, is much better than a field goal, but it's not as much better. It's not as much better as a touchdown is to 0 points, which is I think when teams are, when they punt on the other side of the 50 or something like that, I think they should go for it then
Yeah.
because you're only getting field position that way, which is doesn't have Mike doesn't really carry points with it.
Right.
Um,
So really, like you're saying, like you should go for like all the fourth down opportunities that are you think you can reasonably achieve, like between like the 40 yard, your own 40, and like their 40. Otherwise, you'd kick a
yeah.
field goal. If you're inside their 40, you just take the field goal.
If it's more than like 4th and 2, I would kick a field goal probably more
Yeah.
often because it seems like if it's 4th and 4 and you're at the 30, kick a field goal. Uh, because I think it's 50. I think you're more likely to make the field goal than you are to get the first down.
Like I
I don't
said,
know
weather conditions may play into
whether
this
weather
decision.
plays into it. Yeah, there's a lot of variables, of course, but I think
Yeah.
sometimes you don't want to turn down your nose at potential points just to you know it's kind of think of a field goal as sort of a half touchdown. Um,
Yeah. Well, especially since like extra points aren't guarantees if you
yeah.
give up a touchdown now, right? 'Cause they are further away than they were at
Mhm.
one time. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Um,
hmm.
but
But
yeah,
yeah,
were you
yeah.
were you surprised by either of the results? Did you pick
I picked them both, so I
you
would
pick them
say
both?
no. I wasn't surprised at all. So I
I
would
picked
I
two
would say
underdogs to
not
win. Yeah,
surprised.
I missed both of those games. So if you want to talk about our bets, you had a really good betting week this week on these championship games and the uh, over-unders on prop bets as well. Um, and you correctly picked 11 out of 14 uh, of the over-under bets that were available, determining on passing yards from quarterbacks, rushing yards from running backs, things like that. So you ended up winning a lot of money in that section. I won a little bit of money there. I broke almost even total. I lost to about $50 on the weekend out of our $1,800 original bet. You ended up winning uh, over $800. So what was the secret of your success, Dr. Scaff? You correctly picked the two winners. So you got the money lines right.
Uh,
One of the two
yeah, that doesn't
spreads.
get a whole lot of money though. But yeah, the money
Yeah,
line
I
because
picked
they're
both underdogs, hoping that one of the
favorites. Yeah,
underdogs at least would cash. They
yeah,
were both close, but neither one panned out. It was fairly, I guess, it wasn't that far off from getting both underdogs winning the games either.
no.
But
Both games were within one score, so they could have
yeah,
gone either way.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think the biggest difference though really is honestly it's officiating. There were only like 13 penalties called between the two games, Mike. So,
Yeah, they let him play. Yeah.
but I think the games make more sense, at least as to what you expect to happen, or at least what I expected to happen, when the games aren't overly officiated. So if there's less official involvement, then the games make
Hmm.
sense. I think a little more. That's my take
Interesting.
on it.
Interesting.
But But yeah, I mean, realistically, both games could have gone either way. I think on our prop bets, that one of the interesting things was I think all of the quarterback rushing overs hit.
Hmm. Yeah,
Now
the big
that
one was. Yeah, Drake May was he had 80 he had
Yeah, only 86 passing
65 rushing
yards, but
yards. You only need
65
86
rushing
passing yards, but
yards.
he had 65 rushing yards.
Yeah, as a it's just a sign of how difficult it was to throw at least
Hmm.
late. But most of his throws would have been early because they were slightly ahead late, so he didn't really need to make a lot of passing attempts late. But still, 86 is an awfully low number for any game,
Yeah,
even if the weather's not good.
yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah, Stidham had 133. He had like 50 of them on one throw.
Right, right.
Um, but yeah, Ramondre Stevenson had 71 rushing yards, which was more over the 48 and a half. Drake May had 65 rushing yards, so nearly as many, which was over his 30 and a half. But yeah, you got all but one of the over-unders on the prop
Yeah.
bets in the Denver New
That was
England
that
game.
Ramondre Stevenson over on the
Yeah.
rushing total was the one I
And all
missed.
and you got all but two on the uh Seattle Rams game. So you did 11 out of 14. So that was a good
It's a pretty good run
solid
there.
pickup for you. I was 8 out of 14, which wasn't too bad. But our biggest win was the over under point 0.5 pass, point 0.5 rushing yards from Matthew Stafford. Stafford actually ended up with 16 rushing yards. So it ended up winning us a tidy $244 on that $100 bet.
That's
Um,
right.
because Stafford, in the playoffs, he needed to run for first downs, and he got a couple, uh, and he rushed for 16 yards, where it was an over under point 0.5 yards for him.
Yeah. You were fearful of the Rams being ahead and the kneel down, bringing him back across the 1/2 yard at the
Oh
end, right?
yeah,
Was that
I was a little
where
bit. I didn't think about that. Yeah,
we've
I
talked about that in the past, though, right? Somebody
yeah.
has like 3, 4 rushing yards and then they
Mahomes'
have
kneel downs have been the most dramatic of any kneel down because he sometimes will run around and run backwards rather than just
yeah,
kneeling down like a couple yards behind. He'll go
because
7 or 8 yards back.
he's trying to waste like 2 or 3 extra seconds, not just
Yeah.
the take the kneel down, but actually trying to milk the clock a bit too, right?
Hmm.
So he'll go back a little further. Yeah,
But yeah, this is an
that didn't
interesting. It'll
happen.
be it'll be an interesting Super Bowl without the Chiefs in it. The first time in well, only the second time in 6 years or 7 years that the Chiefs haven't been in the Super Bowl. So it'll be a little. I think again, different kind of Super Bowl, one where we don't really have a rooting interest. We'll have although I think we both probably are favoring Seattle right now over the Patriots.
Yeah, but our biggest like rooting disinterest, I guess, is already out
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Denver.
Denver's gone. The main rivals for the Chiefs are all out. Um,
Yeah,
Buffalo didn't do it. The
and that
Chargers lost.
that Buffalo Denver game, like that was about as perfect of an outcome for a Chiefs fan as possible, though, wasn't it? Like the team that
Buffalo
won
losing
took an
and then the
injury.
injury to Bo Nix at the end of the game. Or there was a conspiracy theory that Bo Nix didn't injure himself in the game. He injures himself in the celebration after
Oh,
the game. Did you hear about that?
I did not hear that. Is that
Because nobody knew about the injury until after the game was over. Uh,
yeah? Like the remember, former Royals player Kendrys Morales.
mhm.
He like injured himself celebrating his home run.
Yeah.
He jumped on the plate and then like cracked his ankle or something. Wasn't that what it was?
Yeah,
And
yeah, it was in
missed
the
like a whole season.
yeah, I remember that. But
And that
yeah,
was
they said
before he was with the Royals, though.
yeah, there was a rumor that Bo Nix got hurt during the post-game celebration, not during the game.
Oh, I
So
hadn't heard that.
yeah, I
I
don't know if
thought
that was
I had heard initially that they thought he was injured on the last play of the game, but I did not. I
said,
wasn't
but
paying attention to it.
I don't know if that was what happened or not. But I
Yeah,
don't know how conspiratorial you are, whether it was a post-game celebration or just
Does it matter?
Last.
Why would they be secretive about that? Is it
Probably
unless he
because
was doing something weird?
yeah, maybe he was doing something stupid. I don't know. Um, but supposedly also they said that Bo Nix had an ankle condition that made his break inevitable. Uh,
Oh,
so he had some sort of congenital uh, condition that caused it was only a matter of time, I guess, before his ankle broke, according to Sean Payton recently, when they did the surgery on him. So I'm not sure exactly what. Um,
but they didn't know this until they did the surgery, or is it
yeah, the surgery.
like
Um,
revealed this issue?
yes,
That seems odd.
yeah, Bo Nix has an ankle condition that
But he like never had an ankle injury in the past, or
I don't know.
I mean, it seems like ankle, like you can turn an ankle doing almost anything, but it seems surprising if you wouldn't have any ankle issues ever before, and then all of a sudden they say this was inevitable.
Yeah, it says Bo Nix's ankle condition made Broncos quarterback season-ending fracture a matter of when, says Sean Payton.
I don't believe that. I would be doubtful of that.
What was found was a condition that was predisposed. They always find a little more when they go in. It wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of when. When you look at the play and you're trying to evaluate it, the operating surgeon said that this is going to happen sooner than later.
That's odd.
And Nix has had several ankle operations going back to high school.
Oh,
So
okay,
maybe,
so it is. He has had like a history of ankle issues. But,
yeah.
hmm, hmm, hmm. So you would think that if he had previous ankle injuries, that they would be aware that that would be a possibility
Mhm.
anyway, right?
Yeah. Weak
But
ankles.
yeah, there've been a
Much
few
like
players.
I believe Mars said the peppermint patty and in the one of the uh in one of the Charlie Brown specials, the one with the skating, Marcy complained that she had weak ankles. Weak
Uh,
ankles. That's why she couldn't skate
uh,
with peppermint patty.
hmm, I don't remember that.
You remember that one? I'll have to look that
It's
up.
been a long, long time since I've seen any of those shows. Do you watch them annually, like the
No, it's been a long
holiday
time
specials?
it's been a
Yeah.
long time since I've seen them either. Because they aren't really on TV anymore or on.
They could be. I don't pay attention to network TV that often, so I don't know. Back when we only had like four channels to choose from, you ended up watching those, right?
Yes. Yeah, Marcy. Uh, yeah, it was she's a good skate, Charlie Brown. That's what it's called. She has weak ankles, which kept her from skating.
Hmm. No, I don't remember that.
She's a good skate, Charlie Brown. When Peppermint Patty was in training for a figure skating competition with Snoopy as her coach.
Hmm.
You don't remember she's a good skate, Charlie Brown?
Nope, don't remember that at all. Was that like a show too? Was it just like a regular show?
It was from 1980, the 19th primetime animated television special based on the comic strip Peanuts.
That's all I remember them as being specials. I didn't remember that many. I didn't know there were that many of them though. I
Yeah,
just
there are a
remember
lot.
the holiday ones. That's all I remember. The pumpkin Christmas one, the Frosty the Snowman. No, that's separate. That was an animated special thing.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I don't know how many. Let's see. There were a lot of animated specials. I don't know how many. Yeah, at least 51 it says. But a lot of those are on
Jeez.
Apple TV now. So
Hmm.
they weren't quite like they're on Apple TV Plus.
Hmm.
But there were still multiple ones. Yeah, 40 plus. So I guess they have yeah, 50-ish of these TV specials. I remember Charlie Brown Christmas, of course, it's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. I remember a springtime one where they were like running track.
Hmm.
I don't remember. I don't. Yeah, Thanksgiving. I guess I remember the election one. I remember
Yeah.
there were a lot of them though. I didn't watch all of
Yeah, they're all
them.
kind of like set around some around a holiday event or something is what I remember. But I don't remember that being more than a handful of them, I guess. I didn't know there were like
Hmm.
40 plus. Huh. Warning track power hour investigation into the
Charlie Brown Christmas specials. Peanuts Christmas.
Peanuts
Peanuts
special.
animated specials. Not all Christmas
Yes.
specials.
Right.
Different specials. You're a
Yeah.
good man. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. But they never made that. That was never just like a show, was it? It was just they were just specials.
Yeah, just specials. There weren't, I guess, yeah, they never made it as just a show. I guess maybe they could have played enough of them.
S- Yeah,
Because they
just
had
string
enough
them together
episodes.
and turn it
Yeah.
into a series or something, right?
Hmm.
Were
So
they
they
all
did
like,
one each, they did one like every year, it seems like at least.
uh,
So like every year they had to do one.
hmm. I did not remember that's how they did it, I guess, but I guess
Or
I wasn't paying that close attention to
or
like
even two a year
shows like
sometimes.
that.
1 to 2 a year, it looks like.
Hmm.
From 1965 through the early 80s especially. And then they had more.
Should we start reviewing these, Mike? Is that what we're going to be doing
Good, we could. I haven't,
in the off season
yeah.
before spring training starts?
Yes.
Reviewing old Peanut specials.
Old Peanuts specials. Yeah. Trying to think of the ones that I've seen. Yeah.
Hmm.
They had multiple Christmas ones. Charlie Brown Christmas was the first one. Then they have one, the Charlie Brown Val. They have Charlie Brown's Christmas Tales. I Want a Dog for Christmas.
Hmm.
Other Christmas ones. Yeah, I don't know why I thought of the weak ankles. She's a good skate Charlie Brown, but that's
I mean, there have been a few players like in different sports that they've had that issue. Like, well, didn't like Kevin Durant wasn't he being referred like having like ankle issues all the time
yeah.
for a few years? Yeah, yeah. Just seems like certain people are like prone to those kinds of injuries. But yeah, I didn't know that Knicks had a history of ankle conditions though.
Hmm.
Multiple surgeries. That seems like a something to be concerned about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
well,
right.
there's also too few letters in his name. That's his biggest problem.
That's more concerning than the weak ankles?
Yes. That's probably led to the weak ankles. Not enough letters to support his name.
Yeah. Well, have we spent enough time on the conference championship games? Should we?
I think we have. I think we have. Should we go on to talk about the coaching carousel and its revolving? We have new coaches in that we discussed before. We discussed Robert Saleh to Tennessee, John Harbaugh to the Giants, Kevin Stefanski to the Falcons. We've also had now new coaches to the Ravens, Jesse Minter, former defensive coordinator for the Chargers, also maybe former defensive coordinator for the Ravens even. He played, we also have new coach to the Buffalo Bills. Uh, Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator, was promoted, and we have new coach to the Miami Dolphins, Jeff Hafley, the former uh, defensive coordinator for the Packers, and we have Mike McCarthy making his return to the NFL coaching ranks and is the new coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So do any of these coaches seem like they're extra good hires to you, or is this kind of wait and see?
Yeah, I mean, I think these are kind of like the B coaches being picked up now. I think probably the McCarthy one's probably the most interesting, but I'm a little surprised that that's where he ended up. I would not have guessed that's where he would be in Pittsburgh. Did you like that pickup, or is that you think that one's a little bit strange, or
I
is it
think it's a
just
sim
Aaron Rodgers related?
well, it's a little weird because I think the Pitt Steelers usually have picked, at least with their last two coaches, they've only had two coaches of the last 40 years, basically, Bill
Right.
Cowher, Mike Tomlin. Both of those coaches were picked as first-time coaches, and they're both fairly young.
Hmm.
McCarthy is as a retread, but he has similar kind of history of solid success, if not spectacular success, kind of similar to Tomlin. So I don't know if it's more treading water or not, but maybe they will also, but McCarthy has a reputation of being, a good quarterback coach with
Hmm.
Aaron Rodgers. So maybe Aaron Rodgers will make another year return to the Steelers. So I don't know. I think he's a solid coach. I don't know if it's a spectacular hire, but it's a solid one for the Steelers.
Yeah. Do you think that will have an effect on Aaron Rodgers? Will Aaron Rodgers come back
I think
one more
possibly.
year?
I think he might with McCarthy. He might want to see if he can. If I don't know, it's never know what Aaron Rodgers is thinking. So I
Yeah.
w- I wouldn't be surprised, but I wouldn't be surprised either way. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. You think it's more likely that Aaron Rodgers returns or that Travis Kelce returns?
I I I think they'll both be back, honestly, but just because neither of them said when the season was over, like I'm done, I'm
Yeah.
leaving, I'm
Do you
retiring.
think the enemy
Because I
hire
think they
helps bring Kelce back
possibly, I think it should
as
give
the new offensive
people.
coordinator for the once and future offensive coordinator?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good move for the Chiefs, especially since how much they've struggled the last couple of years since Bieniemy really, left uh, to be as good offensively. So yeah, I mean, it should be. I mean, Kelsey didn't really. He was never really like had a lack of focus on the offense. Like he was still like the main guy offensively for like under Nagy and Bieniemy though. So I don't know that. Yeah, probably maybe take some of the pressure off of Kelsey. Maybe that helps Kelsey make the
Mhm.
decision, so he's not have to be like the focal point. Possibly, but I don't know. I think if the offense is going to be better, that's a good reason to come back for another year, right?
Yeah, agreed.
But yeah, they really need to like find something to get more offense in their game again. So, and they had that with Bieniemy before, so they hopefully think they can get that back from him again. Yeah, I don't know. McCarthy did. He did win. Did he win? He won one championship, didn't he, with Green
He won one
Bay?
Super Bowl with Green Bay. Yeah.
Yeah, but then didn't have much success in Dallas, though, right?
Well, he made the playoffs in Dallas a few times.
But they didn't win anything though in
No,
Dallas with
but
him.
Dallas hasn't won anything for years, so it's hard to.
Right. They were consistently around the playoffs under him, I think, right?
Yeah.
But except maybe in years where there were bad injuries to like to Prescott or somebody else that like were like key players.
Yeah. So Dallas under McCarthy, they were 6-10 his first year, 12-5 for three consecutive years, and then 7-10 this last year.
Hmm.
So both of those, I think were consistent with um, Prescott injuries, I would guess.
The two
Uh,
like sub 500 seasons.
yeah, he only won one playoff game in three playoffs. He's one
Yeah,
in 1-3 in the playoffs. He's 11-11 in his career in the playoffs, 10-8 with the Green Bay Packers.
yeah. Hmm.
He lost one, two, three. three NFC Championship games as well. He went to four NFC Championship games with the Packers,
Okay.
losing, winning one, and winning the Super Bowl 45 in 2010.
Yeah.
And they finished as a wild card team,
Hmm.
10-6. They went 15-1 the next year, and they lost in to the Giants in the divisional,
Hmm.
11-5, 8-7. He had that one 15-1 season, 2011. I think I kind of remember that season. The Packers. That was the year, I believe, the 15-1 season was the one loss was to the Romeo Crennel led Kansas City Chiefs. That infamous Todd Haley firing season, or one of, and then they were even worse the next year when they had the blow up in 2012 with the Crennel coaching
Yeah.
staff, the Javon Belcher stuff and things like that. But yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that game. The Chiefs beat the Packers. I bet that was the one game the Packers lost was against the Chiefs before the playoffs.
Yeah. That had a kind of a negative impact on the Chiefs for the next year too, right? Because then
Yes.
they kept Cornell and they had a terrible year that year, didn't they?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Uh,
Well, so yeah, any of the other hirings make any noise to you? I don't. Minter's a younger coach at least.
yeah, I mean,
Tom
it could be interesting,
Brady,
but I don't, and it
but
doesn't seem like that
he's a good
exciting. I don't
offensive
know.
coordinator. I haven't. He's never been a head coach.
I'm
Um,
just more surprised about the defensive coordinators getting head coaching jobs. It just seems surprising, like in how offensive minded the league has become, seeing like teams
yeah,
still pick defensive coordinators to be head coaches. It just seems surprising.
yeah.
So,
I
but
don't.
well, I mean, yeah, I don't expect much from those teams, and then those seem to be the teams that end up cycling through coaches more often when they pick defensive guys to run teams.
Well, the Ravens. I don't know. Aren't they haven't had many coaches for a while, so I
Yeah,
think Harbaugh, I think, was a special teams coach. I don't think he was either offensive or defensive minded really before he became coach. So, um,
yeah.
but the Ravens have always been kind of a defense first team anyway. It seems like,
It seems like you'd also want to sort of change that a little bit, right? Like maybe shift the balance a little bit more towards the offense.
yeah,
Like you don't have to be like a pure traditional football team where you're running the ball more than you're passing it, and focusing more on defense, maybe spending more dollars on the defensive side
mm.
than other teams are. But yeah, I'm just surprised in how offensive the league has become that teams are still promoting defensive minds to the head coaching position, unless they're like segregating their coaching staffs. Hire a bigger named offensive coordinator and then almost a nobody for the defensive coordinator because the head coach already knows that stuff. I guess.
Well, yeah. It says that Jesse Minter was a wide receiver when he played, so
Hmm.
he has ties to both offense and defense in some ways. He was a four-year wide receiver at Mount St. Joseph University in 2002, 2005. Then he became a graduate assistant, but he was always on the defensive side, it seems
Hmm.
like.
Hmm.
So I'm not
Hmm.
sure.
Hmm. No. Were you surprised by any of those names or excited by any of those names?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't. I guess I was surprised because I didn't know who Jeff Halfley was.
Right.
Uh, I had heard Jesse Minter. Uh,
Yeah.
I didn't. Um, I
Is
thought it
that
was
just because we see the Chargers twice a year playing
yeah,
against Kansas City?
yeah. Jesse Minter was yeah, I knew his name, but Halfley uh was kind of a surprise. But he was the head coach. He was the head coach at Boston College from 2020 to 2023. Then he became the defensive coordinator at Green Bay. So I guess he does have head coaching uh, history in at the college level, which is
Yeah.
a little. Uh,
Hmm.
there's 22 and 26 in his 4 seasons at Boston College, so kind of mediocre records.
But not at like traditional,
Power school, yeah,
yeah, like football program that you're aware of on the national level.
yeah. They were an ACC. They're a big major conference team, but yeah,
Yeah. But they're not like consistently like at the top of the
no,
ACC
no,
standings when you look at year to year football standings, right?
no.
Yeah, but whatever.
Well, that's what happened. Yeah.
That
Any
happened.
other coaching news you want to? Mike McDaniel, a lot of offensive coordinators were rehired and looked at. Mike McDaniel is going to be the new offensive coordinator in San Diego, I mean in Los Angeles for the Chargers.
Right.
Uh, do you think he's going to be able to unlock Justin Herbert's potential and lead? Again, the Chargers were a playoff team already. Will they become a more formidable team with him as the offensive guru?
I don't know at all, Mike. I don't, he seems to be like big on the number side of things. I think that probably fits in well with what Harbaugh does there. So it seems like it's a good fit for him, but I don't really know how different it's going to be though. That's one thing. It's hard to say. I don't know what to expect. It's weird when you hire a former head coach to come in underneath, to a lower role. So there could be some like headbutting, but I don't know. I really don't know what to expect with that one at all.
Yeah, I don't either.
I
I
don't
think he'll.
I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know if you can go any further with that team though, too. I'm not sure. Because they're still sort of in that rebuild mode because they were so over the cap previous years, so they had to reorganize their roster so much
Mm,
too that they're still like in their sort of rebuild. They've done pretty well for the kind of rebuild that they've had to do without like having like a 10 loss season, 12 loss, 15 loss season, something like that. They didn't go through that. That's kind of having what they why they brought Harbaugh in to try to guide through that
yeah.
without having that big
Yeah,
fall off.
Herbert's due the big balloon payments soon if he hasn't gotten them already.
Yeah,
So it's gonna be hard to manage the cap.
it gets a little harder, yes. But
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. What do you like McDaniel hire there, or is it?
I think it's a good hire. I think he might be one of those guys that's really a good offensive coordinator. Maybe he's not the greatest head coach, but he's a really good coordinator.
Yeah,
Um, so
he
that
doesn't have to
could
give any of those weird interviews after the game, I guess.
he gets to, he can wear his he can still wear his capri pants and uh, things like that because it's warm in Los Angeles.
You think that was one of his requirements? He has to be in a warm weather place so he can wear the capri pants all the time.
Possibly, although he was considered for I think the Browns coaching. So we still have some coaching openings that are left with the Browns. We have the Raiders. Maybe those are the two least attractive coaching options. Are there any other coaching available coaches that haven't been hired yet?
I think that's it, right?
Browns, Raiders. So we
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think they're waiting for teams that just exited the playoffs to look at their coaching staffs
possible, or they could wait till after the Super
or
Bowl.
after the Super Bowl from New
Hmm.
England or Denver? I don't know if there's any stars
Seattle.
on any of
Yeah.
those spots. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
sure. Maybe Seattle's
Seattle.
offensive coordinator or Seattle's. I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to
Because like
say.
Seattle just completely rebuilt their team in the last year,
Hmm.
right? So they're like you wouldn't expect there to be they have to be like relatively new hires at OC and
Yeah.
DC for them and
Yeah,
New
Mike
England too.
McDonald. Yeah, McDonald was there. So I guess maybe the offensive coordinator for the Seahawks. You have Clint Kubiak, right? One
Yeah.
of the maybe he's a candidate with a K.
Yes. Yes.
but it's hard to say. I don't. Yeah, I don't know what the. It also might pick. They might maybe look at those surprises. Somebody pick up Bill Belichick or something like that. Bring him back or some other retread, or maybe Matt Nagy will get one of these jobs.
True, he's still out there.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't think we've seen any names like with the Raiders job. I think the what Fox Sports has like a list of all of the interviews that were made, and there's nothing like crazy on there. Like nobody, like high end coach with who's replacing like a potential Hall of Fame coach there
Yeah,
who
Pete
didn't
Carroll.
have a
Yeah,
good year.
no.
But you think they would go for a bigger name though too, right?
Yeah, you think I don't. Yeah, it's hard to say what they go for. Maybe have Dion still as a candidate for the Browns.
Yeah,
Coach Shador, Pro Bowl quarterback Shador Sanders. He made the Pro Bowl team. Did you see that?
I did not. I was not paying attention now.
That was one of the worst Pro Bowl selections you can probably think of, but it's maybe even worse than the Tyler Huntley selection from a few years ago. But
Yeah.
um, anyway, yeah. Speaking of selection, apparently the Royals have narrowed or removed the Aspiria campus, this former Sprint campus, as one of as the site. They have decided not to select the Sprint campus as the site of their new stadium in Overland Park. Are you happy about that? Do you think the Royals are going to end up in downtown Kansas City after all?
I'm glad that they are not planning on building in at that former Sprint campus though. I think that would have been a terrible place for it. Uh, Hopefully that means that they're either going to be downtown or they're going to try to renovate Kaufman and stay where they are.
Hmm.
But uh, I don't know. I think yeah, because it seems like Clay County has is like not interested in continuing discussions with them too for the North Kansas City site.
I like that North. I still like the North Kansas City site as my favorite.
I think of the sites, I think it's probably the best, honestly, because at least you'd see downtown from the Clay County
Yeah.
North Kansas City site, they've already done all of like the 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 renovation part of the ground. They cleared all of the buildings that were previously there.
The NKC Pro Bowl and other buildings. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's ready to build on. They did the soil sample tests to try to like move things along, and none of that seems to be of interest there.
It is the new.
They wasted like a year talking about the Sprint campus that has active businesses working out of it. They would have to relocate before they could even start clearing the grounds there. It's like it was a stupid concept from the very beginning. I don't know why they even looked at that as an option, honestly. But what? Yeah, I mean,
I don't
nothing
know.
really makes sense with any of this. But yeah, it does seem like the state of Missouri is trying to put a fund together to make sure that they can keep a sports team in the state of Missouri. So
Yeah.
they're
I think. Yeah. I still think our
making
best idea
efforts, at least anyway, to not lose
is
another team.
the West Bottom Stadium, where the foul line, the part of the stadium would be in Kansas, part of the stadium would be in Missouri, uh, and that would be
Yes,
the state line would be actually be on the foul one of the foul lines. The foul ball would be in Kansas, a fair ball in Missouri. Uh,
yes,
and then you can see that, and you'll be able to see the skyline from that vantage point. I guess you'd have the disadvantage of flooding, but it also has a good, highway access. It's got a lot of stuff going for it in the West Bottoms. And the West Bottoms are one of those kind of an up and coming area still. It has been
yeah.
for many years. It's been kind of down and up and
Well, for like
on
a
the
decade, it was just like where you would go to a haunted house, and then there was like nothing
yeah
else out there.
yeah. Kemper was down there
That
at
was
one point.
active. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
still is.
I
I
guess
guess
Kemper is still there, but
yeah
it's not used in the same capacity as it was like when we were growing up in Kansas City.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Well.
it is still there. I guess they did you see what they converted it into like a like basketball courts? So, like they actually decked off different layers and had basketball courts on multiple tiers for like tournaments and stuff.
Oh, I didn't see that. No, I didn't know that they did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now I think they're talking about changing it again, I guess, to something else. So I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know what they're gonna do with it. Because the
I knew
American
there was
Royal
like
moved.
American. Where's the American Royal now?
I think it's somewhere else now too. Well, they
Because it
don't
was,
host the barbecue contest there anymore. That they do that at the racetrack.
yeah, because it was at Hale Arena, which is next to Kemper Arena.
Hmm.
The barbecue competition, yeah, was at Arrowhead and then moved to Kansas Speedway. I
Yeah,
guess Kemper Arena is Hale Arena was replaced by High V Arena, which is what Kemper is called.
right. Yeah,
It's
that's when
called,
it became like the basketball courts.
yeah, it's High V Arena, and I guess Sprint Center is where some of the rodeo stuff is now too.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure where. I I thought they had moved though, but anyway.
Well, on that note, is there anything else we want to talk about, or should we wrap up this week's episode of the Power Hour?
Well, what we'll let's see. So we'll have another preview of the Super Bowl next week. I guess a little more detail.
More detailed preview. Yes, we talked a little bit about the
Uh,
Super Bowl already, but we have the Seahawks versus the Patriots. I think we're both leaning Seattle right now. Seattle is favored by 4.5 points going in.
mhm.
Um, so I think we're both leaning Seattle to win. I don't know if we're leaning Seattle with the points or not, but that's something we can talk about next
Yeah,
week and see what um, comes of that. We can also make some prop bets, over under bets.
because we've tended to the last couple of years we've done uh prop bets on like passing yards, rushing yards for two players from each team, receiving yards for two players from each team, and then we've each made a handful of additional prop bets. Like this is where we can win lots of money here, though, right? We're trying to earn back our negative season here in the
Or lose lots of
Super
money.
Bowl,
Yeah.
or we'll lose a bunch of extra.
We'll see how I guess we'll see how much time we have and see how much interested we are in making these new prop bets. Maybe we'll
Yeah,
just go with the over-unders that we have. I don't know because the Chiefs aren't playing, so we're not quite as interested in the anytime touchdowns for Jackson Smith and Jigba uh,
right.
as we might be with Travis Kelce or somebody like that. So
Some of the picks that we made last year, though, I left them on the spreadsheet before we make new ones anyway. But we did have stuff like, yeah, anytime touchdowns. We had You had one last year was both teams make successful 33 plus yard field goal attempts, Mike. Will you be going with another bet like this year?
like maybe if I have time to really look at it, maybe I'll do something like that. I don't know.
We used to
I'm not
make
that
like
interested.
will there be a safety? Yes, no, stuff like that.
Yeah, we could bet.
Successful
We could,
two-point conversion? Yes or no?
yeah. Eh, why
Stuff
not?
like that. I think those are always fun. So,
Those are always fun. We could try doing that. We'll see how much time we have.
right. Yeah, it just takes a little. It does take some hunting because there are so many prop bets available to you in all of the sports book like selections. So yeah, it takes a while to go through and make your decisions. Yeah, so yeah, isn't the Pro Bowl would be this weekend then, isn't it? Is that
the Pro Bowl is this weekend. We didn't really talk about the Pro Bowl a lot because the Pro
no?
Bowl games aren't really as are they still doing the Pro Bowl games?
I don't know. We didn't pay attention to it at all last year, so we had a preview. I think we spent more time talking about it than probably any sports podcast did maybe in history the last
Yes.
couple of years. And then we didn't watch any of it, I think, last season. So
No, and then I think they're kind of going away from the Pro Bowl games format. They're just doing the flag football as the main format now. If you look at Wikipedia, they don't even say what the games are. It just says the format will include a 7-on-7 flag football game. That's all it says now by format.
uh,
Yeah.
you'd think that they would try to do what they did last season with the different events, but
Yeah, in October 2025, the NFL announced plans to integrate the Pro Bowl games into the Super Bowl's festivities rather than to continue and hold it as a standalone event. It is
mm,
designed to be a more intimate, television-oriented event held inside a 4,000 seat ballroom at the Moscone Center in San Francisco, the site of the season's Super Bowl experience. The league also intends to use it as a preview for flag football's Olympics debut at the 2028 games in Los Angeles. So it's going to be like an indoor something or other. So I'm not
That
exactly
seems
sure what
weird.
they're going to do.
So weird, Mike.
Yeah.
I don't care for it. But the original Pro Bowl format was terrible also, so I don't know there really is a solution that makes it entertaining for anybody, is there? Or a big moneymaker for the league
Yeah.
either.
It's one of those things where, yeah, the only All-Star games that people care about are the ones that are in the middle of the season, like Major League Baseball All-Star Game or NBA and NHL All-Star Game. And
Yeah.
those are played in sports where routine injuries don't really occur in the way that they do in football.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, you don't want, yeah. And maybe it's just one of those things where you just announce Pro Bowl teams and don't have a Pro Bowl game at some point. But I guess you do lose money that way. So you
Yeah,
make
it's like the all pro selections, right? Like the end of year awards sort of things.
Mhm.
Just have it be that instead of an actual like event.
Have it as an all AFC, all NFC team. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because it's always been disappointing though, like when the teams get named, who the like competitors would be, and then many of them back out before the event,
Yeah,
and then a certain number of them aren't available because they're on the Super Bowl teams because the Super Bowl teams are good, so they have more Pro Bowl selections, and then they are not even available because they're still playing.
yeah, yeah. Maybe they could do it a few weeks after. Maybe that would be better. I don't know. You lose interest that
Nah,
way too.
yeah, I just don't think there's any way to do it. I like the skills competition things seem like they're sort of more interesting, but they're not like a draw for. You're not going to fill a stadium to do
Yeah,
little games though, right? Like
yeah,
it's not easy to watch from a stadium to see
yeah.
them do like trying to hit targets with a from passing from some distance away.
Well, also the positions are a lot more like there's more variance in the positions. Like um, there are only a couple of quarterbacks. There are only a couple of running backs on each team. Only a couple of defensive line. It's like in hockey or whatever, you have a lot of guys that can shoot. You have a lot of guys, basketball, you have a lot of, a lot of people that can shoot three pointers, a lot of people that can dunk, things like that. It's not
Yeah,
quite as, um, football's a little more position specific in its
yeah,
games, maybe, is also maybe a drawback. Uh, but I don't know. Maybe they'll think of something. But we aren't going to think of something in the meantime, but maybe
yeah.
they
Well,
will.
not that they're gonna do anyway.
Yeah. Well, um,
Yeah,
on that note, so we don't have a Pro Bowl preview, but we will have a Super Bowl preview for next week in more detail anyway, discussing some of our bets, discussing the game, who we think is going to win. Right now, we're both leaning towards Seattle, but that could change. You never know what's going to happen. You can see what the line does, but that's where we're headed. Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara, California, home of Levi's Stadium, home of the San Francisco 49ers, but neither of the 49ers will not be there. It will be the division, uh, NFC Western Division uh, rivals of the 49ers, the Seattle Seahawks, and the AFC East champions. And the only team that has ever gone 9-0 on the road in a regular season, in postseason, Dr. Scaff, the New England Patriots. So New England is a better road team than they are a home team. So maybe they'll be. I
not a
don't know who's.
real not a real comparison. Like there's only been 2 seasons of the possibility of playing 9 road games, right?
Well, I think they're a bit. Well, if you go 8-0 at home, you aren't going to play too many road games in the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a 17 game. They weren't. It wasn't a 17 game schedule until like
Yeah,
two
but they had.
seasons ago.
Yeah, that's true. But they only had 8 home games in the regular season. They were like, I think they were only like 6-3 at home and 8-0 on the road. So usually the teams that go undefeated on the road uh, also probably go undefeated at home, so they don't have to play any road games going.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like the 16-0 Patriots team, they won 8 road games, but they couldn't play a ninth road game, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why there's a lot of those teams that aren't going to
Yeah.
be able to play a ninth road game. Um,
Yeah. Are they counting
Playoff game
they're counting the playoff game though, or is that all regular season?
it's playoff game counts as their ninth road game.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, I was thinking that was just
Nobody, I guess
they
nobody's
had like
gone
a
nine
they
and
had
zero.
one more road game or something this in
Yeah,
the
nobody's
regular
gone
season.
9-0. I think if they're eight home and nine road, yeah.
I mean,
So
it's only been like a couple of seasons
yeah,
with a
three
17
or
game
four.
schedule. Yeah, okay, that was
So
including the playoff game. That makes sense.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the Super Bowl counts as a road game for the Seahawks or the road game for the Patriots.
I think Seattle is technically the road team. That's how it's listed on the FanDuel sportsbook.
Okay.
But it's in an NFC park though, right? So you'd think that the
Yeah, the
NFC team would
AFC
be.
is the home team for even numbered Super Bowls.
Okay.
NFC is the home team for odd number Super Bowls.
I didn't know that. Hmm.
And so I
I
just
thought it
read.
would be based on like where they are. You'd think they would have
Yeah,
the NFC teams be the home teams in an NFC park, and then
yeah,
they would alternate the stadia that they play in by conference. No, it's not that. They mismatch them sometimes, apparently.
yes.
At least sometimes. Hmm.
Well, on that note, we will return next week with an exciting Super Bowl preview. And we'll be back also talking about anything else that strikes our fancy, including Charlie Brown Peanuts specials, if necessary. So,
True.
um, on that note, Dr. Scaff, should we wrap up this week's episode of the Power Hour?
Let's do it.
As always, I am Dr. Michael Werman. He is Dr. Andrew Scaff. We are the One Track Power Hour. Please like and or subscribe to our YouTube channel or our podcast, which is available on many different podcast delivery platforms, including the one you're likely using right now if you're listening to us podcast. We thank you for your listenership, your viewership, your patronage, and we are happy to have you as listeners and viewers or patrons of our little broadcast here. Um, and we also wish you the best of luck this weekend if you're making bets on the Pro Bowl or anything else. We don't really have any bets for this weekend, so your interest won't conflict with ours. You can make regular season NBA bets, NHL bets, uh, anything like that, to your heart's content. You won't run afoul of Dr. Scaff's or my picks. So you also won't be able to pick against us either, because since that had been working pretty well for some of you going into the big board. I know we ended up you picked against me in the winners of the playoff games last week. Or I picked against you, and you ended up being on champion of that. So um,
Worked out okay for me.
worked out very well for you, Dr. Scaff. But we will see what happens with the Super Bowl in 2 weeks time. But yeah, until then, we at the One Track Power Hour will wish you a good day.